Lumen point. Let's begin the breakdown. Okay, so there's this new kind of computer looming on the horizon. One so powerful it could literally shatter the foundations of our entire digital world. Let's dive into this quantum threat and what it really means for the secrets holding our internet together.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi thing. The National Security Administration itself put out this warning. The threat is real, and the stakes are about as high as they get. All the encryption that we rely on every single day is on the chopping block. So this leads to a really strange situation. Right now, governments and other groups are intercepting and just stockpiling enormous amounts of our encrypted data. We're talking passwords, financial records, military intelligence, you name it. They can't read any of it, at least not yet. So what's the deal? Why bother?
Well, the answer is a strategy that turns our data into a ticking time bomb. It's a race against the clock, and that clock is already ticking. It's a strategy called Store Now, Decrypt Later, or SNDL for short. And the logic is brutally simple. Collect everything you can get your hands on today and just wait. Wait for that quantum master key that will unlock it all in maybe 10, maybe 20 years. Think about it. State secrets or sensitive business plans stolen today will still be incredibly valuable then. To really get why this is such a huge deal, we first have to understand the absolutely beautiful system that protects us right now. A system that's been the bedrock of online security for over 40 years. For the longest time, sharing a secret was a real pain. You needed what's called a symmetric key. Basically, one key that both locks and unlocks a message. That meant you had to physically meet up to exchange the key, which isn't great for, the internet. But in 1977, a breakthrough called RSA, named after its inventors, Rivest, Shamir, and Adelman, changed literally everything. It let us communicate securely with total strangers.
So how does this magic trick work? It's pure genius. You start by picking two massive, secret prime numbers, just for you. Then you multiply them together to create one giant public number. Anyone in the world can use that public number to scramble a message and send it to you. But, and this is the kicker, only you, the person with the original secret prime numbers, can unscramble it.
So, just how secure are we talking? Well, if you took one of today's most powerful supercomputers and told it to work backwards, to find your secret prime numbers from your public one, it would take about 16 million years. Yeah, that is the lock we all rely on.
But here's the thing, a quantum computer doesn't play by our rules. It's not just a faster version of what we already have, it's a completely different way of doing calculations. And it just so happens to be perfectly suited for picking this exact kind of lock.
Let's break down the core difference, because this is where things get wild. Your laptop uses classical bits. A bit is simple. It's either a 0 or a 1. But a quantum bit, or a qubit, can exist in what's called a superposition. It can be a 0 and a 1 at the exact same time. This means with just 2 qubits, you can explore all 4 possible states all at once. And that power just explodes exponentially. Get this, with just 300 perfect qubits, you could represent more states than there are particles in the entire observable universe. You could perform a number of calculations simultaneously that is just literally unimaginable. Okay, but there's a huge catch, right? A massive problem. All of those potential answers exist in this really fragile quantum state. The moment you try to look at it, to measure the answer, poof, the whole system collapses into just one single random result, and you lose all that other information. So how on earth do you make this incredible power actually useful?
Well, you need an incredibly clever algorithm. And back in 1994, a mathematician named Peter Shor delivered exactly that. He created the quantum master key, an algorithm designed for one specific purpose: to crack RSA encryption.
So, Shor's algorithm doesn't just brute force the problem. It's way more elegant. It takes the really hard problem of factoring a giant number and transforms it into something completely different. Finding the period, or the hidden rhythm, in a long sequence of numbers. It's like trying to hear a single repeating drumbeat in a stadium full of noise.
Let's see how this works without a quantum computer for a second. Let's say we want to factor the number 77. We can pick a random guess, like 8, and then start calculating the remainders of its powers when divided by 77. You get this long list of numbers that seems totally random, 8, 64, 50, and so on, until eventually the pattern starts over. And the length of that repeating pattern, that period, that is the secret that unlocks the original factors.
Right. But for a huge number, finding that period is what takes a normal computer millions of years. This is where the quantum computer's superpower comes in.
It has a special tool called the quantum Fourier transform. The easiest way to think of it is as a perfect pattern finder. It can listen to all that quantum chaos and instantly pick out the one clear, repeating frequency.
So here's how the whole trick comes together. The quantum computer puts all the possible exponents into one big superposition and calculates all the remainders, all at once. Now for the genius move, it measures only the remainder. That single measurement forces the superposition to collapse, but in a very special way. The only exponents left behind are the ones that could have possibly created that one remainder. And what's so special about them? They form a perfectly spaced periodic signal. From there, the quantum Fourier transform just looks at that clean signal, instantly finds the period, and boom, the encryption is broken.
Okay, so the threat is very, very real. But thankfully, the story doesn't end there. For years now, an army of cryptographers and mathematicians has seen this day coming, and they've been racing to forge new, unbreakable digital chains.
Back in 2016, the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, basically kicked off a global cryptographic competition. They got 82 proposals for new quantum-resistant algorithms, and for years, the best minds in the world tried their hardest to break them. Finally, in 2022, NIST announced the first 4 winners. The great crypto upgrade of the internet has already begun.
And the leading defense? It's built on a completely different type of math problem, one that seems to be hard for even a quantum computer to solve. It's called lattice cryptography.
This is a brilliant way to picture it. Imagine you're navigating a grid. Your private key is like a good map. It gives you simple, direct vectors, clean, easy-to-follow directions that get you to any point on the grid, no problem. But the public key you give to everyone else is a bad map. It's made of these long, tangled, awkward vectors that still create the same grid, but trying to use them to find the closest point is a total nightmare.
Now take that idea and scale it up from a simple 2D grid to a grid with 1,000 dimensions. With that bad map, a single step that seems right for one dimension could throw you wildly off course in the other 999. It's a navigational maze that's incredibly hard to solve for both classical and quantum computers, but it's trivially easy if you have the secret good map.
So in the end, our digital security has always been this epic arms race between the code makers and the code breakers. The quantum computer might just be the ultimate lockpick, but the world's cryptographers are already building the next generation of unpickable vaults. The only question is, who's going to make the next move?
Fuel your curiosity. Subscribe for the explanation. Stay for the knowledge.